Welcome back to Max Reaction. How are you doing today? Hopefully you're doing great. And today we're going to learn some history, some animated history. And this is Ferdinand Magellan, first circumnavigation of the Earth. And let's see. He's known for that. He was Portuguese, I think. And I do know he was killed in the Philippines from a tribe, I guess, on Mactan Island. And I actually go to Mactan Island all the time. Every time we go to the Philippines, that's where my family lives. That's where my wife's family lives. So I'm there all the time. So that's kind of neat, you know. So we're gonna check this out. We're gonna react to it. Let's do this.
Epic History TV collaboration. In the late 1400s, a great new age of European exploration began.
Around the world.
Portuguese, Spanish and Italian sailors. They made great
Exciting
voyages
times.
into the unknown, full of danger, adventure and discovery.
Yeah, it is.
These pioneers were driven by Christian zeal and profit.
Mainly
In
profit.
Europe, spices like cinnamon, cloves and nutmeg, which grew only in the Far East, were worth their weight in gold.
Whew.
Whoever controlled their trade was guaranteed immense wealth. By 1518, the route to the so-called Spice Islands
Around
was
Africa.
dominated by Portugal. Spain wanted a route of its own. Enter 38-year-old Portuguese sailor Ferdinand Magellan. Ferdinand Magellan, as he's known in English, was a brilliant navigator.
Brave.
He spent many years sailing the Indian Ocean.
So brave.
But he'd fallen out with the King of Portugal, and now offered a bold plan to his rival, King Charles I of Spain.
Kind of like a traitor.
Magellan believed it was possible to sail around the New World and reach the Spice Islands from the east, since, contrary to popular myth, it had been widely accepted for centuries that the Earth was round. King Charles accepted Magellan's proposal and helped him assemble an expedition with 270 crew and 5 ships known as carracks.
So brave.
The fleet set sail on the 20th of September 1519 and crossed a stormy Atlantic to reach the future site of Rio de Janeiro in modern Brazil. Here the men traded with local tribes, exchanging simple objects like metal fish hooks and playing cards for fresh food and water.
It's a good trade. Good trade.
Magellan continued south until winter storms forced him to camp at Puerto San Julian. There, Magellan faced a mutiny led by Spanish officers convinced he was leading them to their doom.
Oh, yeah. I'd be scared
Magellan
too.
acted swiftly and ruthlessly. He sent loyal men to kill one of the ringleaders, while another was captured and executed.
Gotta do what you gotta do, I guess.
2 others were marooned, left behind when the fleet sailed south again in August.
They're on a mission, and they're not
As
stopping.
Magellan searched for a passage west, one ship, the Santiago, was wrecked, though the crew were saved.
That's good.
Another ship, the San Antonio, deserted and sailed home. But
Aw.
Magellan did discover a 350-mile strait, which
Still
now
3.
bears his name, through to the far ocean.
Straight to
A
Magellan.
sea that seemed so calm, he named it Mar Pacifico, the peaceful sea, or Pacific Ocean.
Dang, he named it.
But the Pacific Ocean was far bigger than they'd estimated. Their supplies ran out.
Oh no.
The men were forced to eat rats and drink putrid water.
Oh. Death.
19 died of scurvy. Then, after 99 days at sea, the lookouts spied land.
Oh, what a magical sight.
They'd found Guam in the Mariana Islands. But when the islanders stole one of their boats, fighting broke out, and Magellan had to leave without fresh provisions.
Oh, that's not good.
A week later, Magellan and his men became the first Europeans to reach the Philippines,
Yes.
where they were able to feast on bananas and coconuts.
Oh, those wonderful times.
With Magellan's Malay slave acting as translator, they sailed on through the Philippines to Cebu. where they made an alliance with a local ruler
I love
who
Cebu.
agreed to be baptized a Christian and swore allegiance to the King of Spain.
Wow.
A local chief from the island of Mactan then asked Magellan for help in defeating his rival, named Datu Lapu-Lapu.
Datu Lapu-Lapu.
Magellan agreed. He crossed to Mactan with 60 men in boats. But though the Europeans had superior weapons and armour, they were massively outnumbered. After burning the enemy village, Magellan's men were driven back into the shallow water,
Wow.
where Magellan himself was cut down as they tried to reach the boats.
Don't mess with the Lapu-Lapu.
Their former allies on Cebu turned on Magellan's crew, butchering 30 of them in an ambush. The survivors fled.
Surprised there was any.
With enough men left to crew 2 ships, they burned the Concepcion and continued their search for the Spice Islands. They
Palawan.
travelled to the Muslim court of Brunei on Borneo and were amazed by its splendour. Finally, with the help of local guides, and more than 2 years after sailing from Spain, they reached their destination.
What a legendary
The
story.
Spice or Maluku Islands,
Maluku.
today part of Indonesia.
Wow.
They traded everything they had for all the clothes their 2 ships could carry. But as they prepared for the long voyage home, the Trinidad sprang a leak and had to stay behind for repairs.
This is a sad story. Sad.
The crew later tried to return to Spain across the Pacific, but most of the men became sick or died. The
Wow.
survivors had to return to the Maluku Islands, where they and the Trinidad were captured by the Portuguese. The Victoria, the last and smallest ship of Magellan's fleet, sailed west for home, captained by Juan Sebastian Elcano.
Wow.
Crossing the Indian Ocean, it
This-
took 9 weeks of battling headwinds
This is
before they
amazing.
could round the Cape of Good Hope. The men began to starve once more. 21 died before they found fresh provisions at Cape Verde.
Oh.
On the 8th of September 1522, almost exactly 3 years after their departure, the famished, exhausted crew of the Victoria
How many left?
cast anchor at Seville, Spain. Just 18 of the original crew of 270
Oh my goodness.
had made it home. But what they and Magellan's expedition had achieved was astonishing. The first voyage of circumnavigation around the world. Mankind at last had final conclusive proof that their planet was a sphere,
Right.
and a greater idea than ever before of its vast size.
That gives me goosebumps just thinking about it.
It was an incredible feat, not repeated for 58 years, when an Englishman named Francis Drake made his own remarkable voyage around the Earth.
Francis Drake.
This
Yep.
video was made with our friends at Epic History TV.
I'll be honest, I don't know anything about Francis Drake, so hopefully they have a video about him, because I'd really like to learn. But could you imagine going to the unknown? That's just one of the most terrifying things there is. And I imagine, you know, astronauts, they're very strong-minded people. You gotta be to be going up in space. You gotta feel the same feeling there, kind of, you know. You're going to the unknown. You don't know what to expect, really. Just, who knows what's out there? It's a big, big world. It's a big, big universe. And Magellan said, I'm going to do this. It cost him his life. It cost him his life. Well, his decisions cost him his life. He shouldn't have tried to raid Lapu-Lapu. Lapu-Lapu has a lot of heart, right? On Mactan Island. And they defended their land as they should. I don't blame them at all. They should, and I respect that very greatly. But it's amazing only 17 people lived and made it. I didn't know. I was afraid that nobody was going to make it, you know? You lose that many people, that big a percent of your people. It's not looking good. It's not looking good at all, right? But anyway, What do you think? Huh? Say, I'm half Filipino. I got that Lapu-Lapu blood in me, probably. But anyway, that's my reactions. Those are my thoughts. Those are my comments. Let me know what you're thinking down below in the comment box. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. We're almost to 30,000 subscribers. Special numbers. Let's get there. And we'll see you next time. Say bye-bye. Peace.